And we are live for a Thursday night, which, as I'm fond of saying, is virtually Friday, which is pretty much the weekend. So let's go! Let's go right off. Hello to Toby and Shieldy. Geez, Shieldy, you're getting a bit fucking rowdy there in the chat before I'm even live. It's the sort of thing that's going to attract the attention of bouncers, man. I think that fella's had a bit. I think he's had a couple. He's getting a bit fucking feisty over there. But I hope you're well, and I hope all the storm and power outages are a thing of the past now. You know, this Sody stream bottle that stopped working, but it's still a bit. Probably shouldn't do that. Probably some liquid carbon dioxide will come out and give me frostbite. I'm surprised it's still coming out, because it wouldn't come out. I don't know. Should stop doing that with my finger. Out goes the carbon dioxide. All right. Shaboopy. Toby, what am I drinking? This is pineapple coconut fruit drink with lemonade. It's mostly lemonade. Doing the fruit drink is like pretending it's a cordial. Like, you know, that much of it and the rest is lemonade. Raiders, good evening to you as well, sir. 2 days rain-free now, Shieldy. Okay, well, that's good. Sometimes that shit really sets in. I'll stop playing now. The air all ran out. And I bought a replacement and I cannot fucking find it. And it makes no sense. There's a limited number of places it could be, and I cannot fucking find it. And it's annoying the shit out of me. Oh, well, I have to take... Like, because I'm Mr. fucking organized. I have 2 of them, so I can always swap them out when one runs out. And I lost my fucking replacement, and I don't know where it is. That one's gone. You can get a drink. Ooh.
My special plastic bag.
Special plastic bag so you can drink in public drink.
No, it's my surgery bag.
Surgery bag. So, yes, that was the lad, young Mr. Angry, has a few of his mates in the next room. So there's a bunch of 20-year-olds in the next room, 20-somethings. So they'll probably make noise from time to time, but we can deal with that. We make noise, after all. Shieldy, the storm's moved north and south of you. You're in the eye of the storm, free from all its effects. Oh, well, that's okay then. That's okay. Locust Trooper, hello. How are you this evening? Well, I didn't see that bit of news. Shieldy, the New South Wales flooding train got knocked off the tracks. I did not see that bit of news. Well, I'm not from New South Wales. Who cares what happens in New South Wales? I don't know. God, they just keep going on about the person who got the double dose of the vaccine. I mean, yeah, it is. It is a story. It is news, but go to the Google News headlines and see the same headline 20 times. It's a little bit annoying. God, lots of things about violence and people getting killed. So it doesn't look like there's... Oh, God, Australian suburbs with highest and lowest life expectancy. That's a weird one. So apparently the hot tip is as of midnight tomorrow night, we in Melbourne revert to our pre-Christmas COVID rules, which are pretty generous. I think young Mr. Hungry's had to limit himself to 5 friends tonight. I think there would have been a couple more if we didn't have these restrictions in place, but that's the way it goes. So, Cinnabon, the American bakery chain famous for its cinnamon scrolls, is opening in Melbourne next week. So fucking what? It's just chain bullshit. We have lots of good bakeries that are going to have better product than some fucking franchise. Raid has been offline all day, rather refreshing. That does seem good. Robot Man Greg, good evening to you, sir. Yes, Locust Jr. was in the frame for a minute there, grabbing his soju out of the fridge. They're busy playing Jackbox games in there, I think. Oh, I saw a reference. Is that what's happening, Shieldsy? Queensland are the only people officially in the running for the 2032 Olympics now. Jesus. What a palaver. It's just you got to look. It's like people have sort of slowly worked out. Oh, we're generally in economic trouble, and the Olympics are a drain on the economy. They are not a boost to the economy. But hey, who knows? Good time. Summer Olympics. They have to be early summer in Queensland, or people would fucking die from the heat. But I guess there's still time. How long they normally announce the official winner? Like, how far in advance? 5 years, 6 years? I don't remember. Because it's not 4 years before. They don't wait till the previous Olympics to say it. So it's at least 5 or 6 years. Of course, the big one was when that I should remember is when Sydney was named. It's 8 years, is it, Shieldsy? Okay. Okay, that makes some kind of sense. Yeah, of course, bloody Brisbane's got 90% of the infrastructure from various Commonwealth Games, as opposed to ridiculous farces like Brazil and whatnot that didn't have any infrastructure, and a country with an enormous number of poor people flushes tens of millions of dollars down the toilet on facilities that will never be used again. It makes fucking great sense to have it in Queensland. Locust Trip have been playing cricket with a local club. Bowled 4 people with leg spins. Nice. You got a Shane Warne one, move 3 meters, and a magic ball. Well, when you get your leg spin going, anything can happen. Sounds like a fun way to spend part of your day, at least. I had so much fun sitting just over there at my desk, working, sort of charging through a couple of things the last couple of days to hit some deadlines, which I did. So, yay me. Yeah, it's like, I don't know about anyone else, but when you've got something and you know it's a deadline, I will spend a lot of time freaking out about the deadline. And I don't know if I have like mild ADHD, or mild anxiety, or whatever, but deadlines can freak me out, and I'll go for all sorts of distractions rather than doing the actual thing. But then I dive in and do the actual thing and get it done. Shizzy, haven't there been other major sporting things since the Brisbane Commonwealth Games? That's why I kind of thought why you had all the infrastructure, that there are other major sporting things. But yes. You were a Commonwealth Games baby, Shieldsy? Oh, yeah, Justin, Athens. Yeah, a broke country hosting the Olympics. That was fucking great. The politics of the Olympics are a shit show. I mean, if people are into it, with the sports and the excitement. And good on you. It doesn't really do much for me, but I'm not going to rain on anyone else's parade. You know, I think there are positives to sporting endeavor and that type of thing, but doesn't do much for me. But the politics of the Olympics are a complete fucking shit show. So yeah, that's not good at all. I'm looking if there's any interesting stories. Yep, no. Nothing big is leaping out. Former I Killed the Prom Queen bassist Sean Kennedy dies at 35. I don't know who that is. Don't know who that is. Okay. What's this? Dogs, X-rays, Perseverance rover. No, nothing's leaping out. Oh well. Ads, they're planning on using existing facilities. Yeah, that absolutely makes sense. Justin, will the Olympics happen this year? They fucking shouldn't. You imagine the thousands of people that would be descending on the village, and it's a nightmare waiting to happen. But it shouldn't. Jeez, you finished that one already? Oh,
No, I didn't finish it. I'm getting a mix of people.
There's a big thing of fruit juice. I mean, if on one of the shelves.
The pine coconut one?
Oh, you can have that. Where is it? This one?
Oh, that one, right.
Whichever one you prefer.
Just get this one.
All right. Keeping the party happening next door. Young Mr. Angry asked me to make a punch for his party, and so I got this is back there somewhere. I got a bottle of Captain Morgan spiced rum, and I was going to make a tropical punch. But then they all brought drinks, and he looked at all the drinks they had and said, "Yeah, maybe don't make the punch. There's like freaking enough to have everyone in casualty for binge drinking here already." It's an excellent plan, Shieldsy. Build a games village that can be sold after the games. That's what they did in Sydney as well. Locust Trooper. Oh, nice. Used to play grade cricket for Sunshine. It's not. It's actually, because pace bowling for so long was the only sexy bowling. So, and Shane Warne made leg spin sexy again. So good to see a bit of leg spin happening. Yes, Shieldsy, that's if you can go back on videos I posted about 12 years ago when he's like 7 or 8 years old. He's tiny and cute, and now he's about 4 inches taller than me. Yep, Justin, Japan lost out big time from COVID. I honestly think it's a farce that they're planning to hold the games later this year. It's gonna be. I mean, the scope for it to be a disaster is just too high. But fucking hell, who knows? Yeah, I don't know. People just in denial. We haven't, now we've got vaccines going in the world. We never even saw anything close to a worst case scenario with COVID. Like, you can look at the 500,000 dead in the US and go, well, that's fucked. And it is. The worst case scenario was we don't get a vaccine and the rate of infection and death accelerates. And, so by the end of this year, it would have been 2 to 4 million dead. As it is, 90% likely everything's going to slow down and everything's going to become more manageable. I only say 90% because there's shit we don't know. Shit can change. Yeah, Justin, it'd have to be empty stadiums at the Olympic, you would think. I'm not actually sure where Japan is with COVID containment, but I don't think it's shit hot. You like the Doctor Who shirt, Shieldy? This is the first of these types of shirts I got from the T Fury site. A spoof of a popular image of the old British rock band, The Who. And you got, who's that? That's Tom Baker up there, and Matt Smith, and Paul McGann being the lead singer, and David Tennant on the drums. So, Raiders, Heidelberg is the Olympic Village from 1956. I honestly didn't know that. There you go. There you go. Trivia. Stuff you might not know. Yeah, I just read those terrible stories from around the world of abandoned Olympic facilities, stuff that cost tens of millions of dollars that then just collapses into ruin. I don't know about anywhere else, but yeah, in Australia, at least we use the facilities. I think I'm going to sneeze. Oh, God damn. Someone's just tickling my nose. I can just feel it. It's just like a little bit of dust or something. And it's like, no, I'm going to sneeze. I'm definitely going to sneeze. And I did. So I got some things to drink. Yeah. Yeah, I've got my clarified cocktails there. I got to decide which to do. Toby, yeah, this should be broadcasting on Facebook. Yeah, this T Fury and other sites like it specialize in pop culture mashups. The T Fury shirts are nearly always two things. So this is Doctor Who and The Who, and and I've got, Jesus, I must have about 10 Doctor Who shirts from T Fury, and nearly all of them are mashed up with something. So they it's their little fun with pop culture. Locust Trooper, to think the next new pandemic will happen in 50, 100 years. We'll be real fucking lucky if it takes that long for another pandemic, because we collectively, the industrialized nations, are doing everything in our power to make another disaster, and a much worse disaster, happen sometime real fucking soon. The combination of environmental destruction, the expansion of factory farming are probably the two biggest risk factors. But we're just playing Russian roulette with bloody 3 bullets in the chambers. It's just madness what we're doing. It's ridiculous. There are these great, big, obvious risks staring in our face, and we not only don't address them, we continue to make them worse. We continue to increase the risk, and it's just fucking bullshit, quite honestly. So, I'm going to be all nihilistic again. Maybe need to think of something more cheerful to talk about. Is there anything cheerful to talk about? Yeah, Toby. Species-wide slow motion suicide happening. That's an interesting one, Raiders. Sochi's Winter Olympic Arena is now an F1 track. I did not know that. There you go. Yeah, it's a real waste if people don't repurpose sport. That's the thing. You can build sporting facilities in major Australian cities. They're always going to get fucking used. Australians are obsessed with big sporting events. It's always going to be used. So if you just plan it properly, it'll be fine. And as you say, turn the Olympic Village into actual housing afterwards. It's it's really straightforward if you plan it. But if it's just some huge fucking rort where money gets thrown at facilities, the likelihood of waste goes way up. So I would be glad if the Olympics goes to Brisbane that it's not stupid and wasteful. I think, like a trooper, the world's always been can't change humans. I don't know. While I was sounding nihilistic before, I actually have a lot of faith in humanity's ability to turn things around. We have all things around. We have all the technology we need to turn things around. What we just need now is the will, and possibly killing all the oligarchs who are controlling public discourse and filling it with lies about why we can't address the actual problems. I mean, I'm just spitballing. There's probably a few solutions. I happen to think a lot of them feature executing the oligarchs. That's just one possibility that I have in mind. So, it's not carved in stone, but I think it's an idea that needs to be explored. And it's not. That's not the beginning and middle end of the plan. That's just one component of the plan. There's a lot of direct action. There's a lot of positive community-based action in my thinking. It's just that when I look at the world, I have trouble thinking of solutions that don't involve killing a bunch of oligarchs. Not necessarily all of them. Maybe just kill the worst ones of them, and the rest of them get the fucking message. I'm just spitballing. Maybe they're capable of learning and changing and adapting, like learning that we're gonna string them up in the public square and adapting to be slightly less shitty. Yes, being bad ads. I probably just said a bunch of keywords that a big data center captured, and they're listening in now. Yes, Locust Trooper, ideally stopping the ones who ruin it for the rest of us. And as Dr. Horrible said, the fish rots from the head. So I say cut off the head. It's the people in control who are, if not actively causing the problem, they are willfully ignoring the steps that need to be taken to address the problem. So I think we need to deal with them. Oh, Toby, you're house sitting for an auntie. Got to take the dogs out for a run around the yard. That sounds like fun. Do that. Excellent. Maybe see you later, mate. Who knows? But thanks for dropping in. Yes. Yeah, so I do want to stress that, when I say we probably have to kill the oligarchs, yeah, I'd be all for giving him a chance. And by giving him a chance, I mean probably taking away the control of all the wealth they've hoarded. Most of it's fictional anyway. Like when you say Jeff Bezos is worth $500 billion. He doesn't have $500 billion in cash. The overwhelming majority of that is imaginary, as in it's tied into the stock of companies, which is not a real thing. But in terms of actual assets, he's obviously probably could easily liquidate hundreds of millions of dollars. Shannon, hello, good evening. How are you? But he's still hoarding, and as I said many times, hoarding that wealth that is amassed at the expense of just huge numbers of exploited people. So fuck those guys. Fuck them. Fuck them all. Oh God, Shannon, you got annoyed. Long story. Oh, I should actually update everyone. I did actually talk to AIDSy today. And unsurprisingly, having not heard from him in a week, means that things are not going particularly great in AIDSy land at the moment. A bunch of stuff happening that's making his life difficult. Seemed in pretty good spirits while we were talking, and he thinks it's going to be a little while before we see him again because he's got shit to get sorted. And so I said, you really, yes. You're saying all these things about you feel guilty about not being on the stream. And I definitely don't want you to feel guilty. I want you to get shit sorted out because, yes, if you don't have the important stuff sorted out, you can't really enjoy things like these streams. So, yeah. Shannon, you have AIDSies. I think you hit enter too soon. You can send him a hi if you want to, Shannon. He's never averse. Yeah. Just send him a text and say, hope everything's okay. You know, words of love and support, that type of thing. Who doesn't like, well, I don't know. Maybe there's someone who doesn't like that. But no, I think AIDSy likes to know that everyone's supporting him. And I did say when I was talking to him, you know, everyone's, you know, keen to know how he is. So I promised I would report, and he is still among us, as the saying goes. And he's actually having a pretty shitty time, but a number of competing things giving him a shitty time. So he's hoping that shit gets sorted, and he feels more able to join the stream. But, you know, take it one day at a time, as the saying goes. All right, so oh my God, have you heard the latest stupidity from QAnon? Is that someone's uncovered something in the original Constitution. The inauguration date for presidents used to be March 4th. So they're now all convinced that's the real inauguration day. And that's when the truth will come out, and Trump will be inaugurated on March 4th. And when that doesn't happen, because it's obviously not going to happen, the fucking morons will just change it to something else. It's just ridiculous. But yeah, we should have the angry party. Ugh. Yeah, no. Politics is just too shit. Politics is too soul destroying, and just people going after surface level shit rather than real things. I don't know. I think I'd end up being like Jackie Lambie and just saying shit. And it's like, what are you going to do about it? I'm fucking elected, man. Can't fucking do anything. I'm here. Hey, Chris, how you doing? So, just looking, was there anything else wacky happening? QAnon coming up with their latest dumb bullshit. Oh, God, and that was the other funny QAnon thing. That dense motherfucker on Fox News, Tucker Carlson, did this whole segment where he claimed QAnon wasn't even a thing, that it doesn't exist, and it's a lie made up by Antifa. It's just like, it's just, on the one hand, it's embarrassing, but on the second hand, people believe it when fuckheads like him say things. It's terrible. Big Bad Ads, yes, it's like people with the second coming of Christ, or Jewish people with the first coming. you actually have Messiah cults within Judaism, because in the scripture, for them, the Messiah has not yet come to earth. So you get messianic cults within Judaism as well. But for them, it's first coming. Locust Trooper, will everything be equal? No. No, because people are fucked up. It's a constant struggle. I think at different points in the history and in the future, things are more equitable and less equitable. It's never going to stabilize because there are always tensions, and there are always people who act in bad faith, and we just have to hope that things get better. Things are never going to be fixed. It's never going to be permanently good. We just have to sort of keep trying to make things better. Raiders, I think you're right. I don't think they will plan another insurrection because there'd be a few more body bags if they did. Because without Trump to mollycoddle them, I think they'd get the treatment that Black Lives Matter, and they'd get real fucking shocked when they got tear gassed en masse. Because that crowd could have been stopped in a fucking heartbeat if you did a tenth of what racist cops do to anti-racist protesters, just via tear gas and flashbangs into them, and they'd have fucked off real quick. But because Trump was mollycoddling them, that didn't happen. To see if there's anything else fun. Trying to think. Well, that's a fun question. How rich do you have to be to make it into the 1%? It's especially hard in Monaco. You need to be worth almost, I thought it would be more than that. You need to be worth almost 8 million to be in the top 1% of Monaco. Wow, really? If your wealth is 4.4 million, you're in the top 1% in the US. That actually surprises me. That is actually like way lower than I thought it would be. Jesus. Oh well. Oh, damn! I lost that. Oh well. Fun little tidbits for conversation. I'm going to bring that back. So, what were we up to? What it takes to be in the 1%? Pop-up ads. Let me see. Ooh, a plane crashed into a car in an emergency landing in California. That's fun. Oh, any fun conversational tidbits? Jesus, this is a headline and a half. Seagull swoops down and eats man's tongue after woman bites it off in a brawl. Jesus, that's a headline and a half, isn't it? God damn. Apparently, Qatar's going to host a beach volleyball tournament, but they don't want the women to wear bikinis. That's weird. Was it like Australia? How did Australia become the have a go country with poison politics? Well, man, life's what you make it. And I'd probably no, it's not even close. I have no desire to live anywhere apart from Australia, really. Just probably partly laziness on my part. And yes, I think we have poisonous politics here, but even with that, life's what you make it. And I don't know. I think there's enough people trying to make it positive that we do okay. don't want to be overly glib and whatnot, but yeah. So just finding more conversational tidbits. I don't want to be too distracted looking for them. Oh yes, Tiger Woods crushed one of his legs in a car accident, single car accident. I think people are hinting it might have been a suicide attempt. He seemed unhappy anyway. But yeah. He's a bit unhappy, old tiger. Shannon, you want to open up Angry Bunch? Why the hell not? Why the hell not for the Angry Bunch for anyone who's in the mood? In the mood. Yes, where are we? Pasteroni. Locust Trooper. No, weren't you here when I said before? Young Mr. Angry is actually having a party. He's got some of his mates in the next room. So, yes, you will be hearing them. Right, is the catch now for Monarchos you need to reside there for 3 years before tax exemption kicks in? Well, it doesn't seem a terrible place to live if you're rich, even if you were paying taxes. But, all right. Shieldy. How you doing, mate?
Good.
Good. First one out of the gate. Oh, yeah. And Grasshopper's joined us. G'day.
G'day, Grasshopper.
Shut up.
With the smoke machine.
You look like you've had a rough night, mate.
Rough few days.
Oh, God.
Ooh. Oh, you were saying. I don't know if it's anything you want to share or.
Rebuilding my PC. I'm currently on a laptop. Hence the horrible camera quality. I started rebuilding my PC on Friday night just gone, and I'm still working on it now.
God damn, what's going wrong?
Everything that could go wrong has gone wrong.
Oh, god damn, Murphy's Law kicks in big time.
And how? I decided to get a different case because the case that I had, the USB ports on it weren't functioning and a bunch of other stuff, and long story.
Yeah.
And so decided to get a case that's very, very popular and very, very good. And with that case, I got a few mods to, basically just upgrade the internals a bit and make it look all nice and pretty and shiny. And turns out that this is like it's one of the most complicated builds that I've ever done. But on top of that, there is no real directions on how to do it. You've basically got to figure it out for yourself as you go along.
Oh, god damn.
Okay. And was at the point last night where I thought that, okay, great, I can finally refill the water loop and I can finally turn it back on.
Oh, that's where you're having fun.
Oh, yeah. And when I got to that point, realized that where the water reservoir and pump is and where one of the radiators for the system is, way too close together, and there was no way to make the fitting go around to fit into where the reservoir and the water pump was.
Yeah.
Oh.
And the way that the case is set up, where the water pump and the reservoir is, it can't be moved. So the radiator is the thing that has to change. There's no choice. So I finally found another radiator that fits, that's slimmer than my existing radiator, and it'll give me about 2.3 centimeters extra worth of space, which should be just enough to fit it in and finally get the damn thing going. But the radiator doesn't arrive until Saturday.
Oh, god damn. Okay. Damn.
I'm lucky if I ever get to water cooling. My case is massive.
Yeah.
It's not the size of the case that's the problem. Believe me, this thing is fucking huge.
Place.
But then again, so is my
Place.
system.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got what was it, a thermal take level 20 XT, I think it is.
I know the
It's
I know
the
the
big,
level.
the big cube version one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know
Massive.
the thermal take level 20s. Yeah.
Yeah,
If anybody watching it, if they're interested, it's the Lian Li 011 Dynamic XL ROG Certified Black Edition. If anybody's interested.
What the hell? They're
Yeah.
supposed to be easy to water cool.
It is and it isn't.
Oh.
For everyone I've seen do the things have done it, so you watch them go boom, boom, boom. Unless they're hiding the true issues online.
No. Like, okay, so if you wanted, that's a new word that I just made up. Wanted. No, if you wanted to go easy everyday loop that most people run, it'd be finished. It'd be done by now. But me being the idiot that I am, have decided to go for the more flashy, more effective version of the water cooling. But it has increased the level of complexity by 15 times. And my dog is in the background shaking and letting me know that he's upset that I've just woken him up. I'm sorry, boys. I'm sorry.
No.
Someone wants attention in the background.
You can't see the other one that's dead to the world on the bed as well.
Yeah.
But no, this is my little spare room that we usually use for when people come over to stay the night.
Right.
Yeah, I'm in here until I get my damn computer fixed.
God damn. Yeah. See, I couldn't even tell you what mine is. Abigail built it for me a couple months ago. And
she did a fantastic job.
She did. She did a really good job. Gave me a nice RGB. I always get those fucking letters mixed up. But the flashy lights case. I got the flashy lights case. And,
well, hopefully, by Saturday night it'll be up and running.
Oh, excellent.
After Saturday night on the next live stream, I promise to jump in and show people if they're interested.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I think there would be considerable interest. I mean, I want to see it. So
yeah, I was hoping to upgrade my computer this year, but yeah, that's not going to happen.
No,
everything I want, you can't get.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
just the bloody crypto people.
Oh yeah, and now you've got bloody
not just the graphics card, the CPU I wanted. You just can't get it. Full stop.
The AMD 5000 series. You may as well sell your soul and put your firstborn up on the market in order to try and get one. Although,
like I've been seriously looking at the previous one since they still are quite common.
No, well, NVIDIA. Sorry, you just raised a point that I'm actually going to have a quick rant about. Fucking NVIDIA. Yeah, fucking NVIDIA. So crypto miners are a bit of a problem in terms of the GPU market, as much we know.
Yeah.
And the 3060s have been out for a while now, and miners have been buying them up everywhere because they're not overly expensive, and with a quick little BIOS hack, they're very easy to get in and get mining with, and they're very effective at what they do.
Okay.
NVIDIA basically turned around and said, the reason for the GPU shortage is because of the miners. It's got nothing to do with scalpers, and it's got nothing to do with us shortchanging all of the fucking suppliers out there. It's all because of the miners. So what we're going to do, because we care for our gamers, we're going to put a BIOS on the 3060 that is going to prevent them from mining, and it is completely unhackable. 30 seconds later, there was a hack out on the internet for it. And they said, and to top it off as well, we're also going to release a video card that is dedicated to mining. It is exactly the same video card as a 3060 with a couple of features turned off. That's it. It is the same fucking thing. So they are basically saying, we're going to help you out, and we're going to make it so that the GPUs are more available. But all they've done is they've just created another GPU that is specifically dedicated to mining, that has already got the hack BIOS on it, in order to increase their profits. It's got nothing to fucking do with trying to help people out with the GPU shortage, because they're full of shit.
Oh dear, yeah.
But now Facebook has apparently refriended Australian politics now.
Oh yeah, who freaking knows? But yes, they are supposedly putting Australian news back on, and it's
What
who the
news?
fuck knows? Yeah,
They still
I'm
haven't
happy about-
reinstated half of them yet, so
Yeah,
No,
I'm happy
they-
about it.
They said that tomorrow everything should be back up and running the way that it was.
yeah.
And they've come to some type of agreement with the Australian news sources with how much they're going to be paying them over the next few years or something like that. And you just know that Murdoch's in the back room just going, yep, I won that one. That's mine. Yep.
Well, as I was saying the other night, any deal between billionaires is probably bad for us. And that's all this shit was. Two different fucked up billionaires fighting with each other. And it's just like...
And he could have been still making millions of dollars if he didn't put the friggin' paywall up and just put advertising on it, like most media outlets do these days.
Yeah.
Murdoch is so married.
Mm.
Murdoch is so married to people paying for his fucking content, though.
Mm.
Like he can't fathom moving forward because it's fucking Murdoch, who, if he had his own bloody way, we'd be living back in 50 styles. Like, come on.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. Did you see the stuff about the federal government wants to introduce a thing where, employers can dob someone in who's unemployed if they offer them a job and the person says they don't want it, which is just the biggest pile of shit. I just was looking at Reddit, and the first thing they offered me was someone's joke at the first victim of the government's job dobber hotline was Scott Morrison, because someone called and said he hasn't been working for the last year. So
I'll just dob in the 2% over here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, and can we just take a moment to kind of recognize the fucking the Liberal Party giving a pittance of an rate in the amount that they're paying people on Newstart and all of that sort of stuff, and going, look at us, aren't we so benevolent? And I think it goes out to like $3 a day or something.
Yeah, no, that's bullshit. I'm with the people saying, it should be $80 a day. It's got to be something approximating an amount of money you can actually live on. Because this lie about
they could make a lot of money if they went out and did all the picking now. Some farmers are offering upwards of $40 an hour.
I don't believe those stories, Shieldy. Multiple
up in Queensland
times.
they are.
Well, good. And
They
I had
are
someone take up
desperate.
because multiple times there's been media stories about, you can earn $100,000 a year, and people have gone, great, I'm applying, and they apply, and they say, and how much will I be paid? And it is nothing remotely approaching.
That's how for the people who don't do it the right way. They go through the job farming networks. Don't do that. Go direct to the farmers, because the farmers will pay you more than what the job networks will pay you.
I still think that that's a bit on the hypocritical side, man. I've got family members that live down in Young who do, or that live like literally next door to large scale farms. And they've got no issues with getting people to come over and pick fruits for them because they just get them from overseas. It's been a bit more difficult because COVID, but they've still got contacts where they can get a bunch of overseas workers that are currently living in Australia working other cheap ass jobs to come down and do their job for a while and pay them pittance. The idea that they're going to be spending $40 an hour for other random people such as yourself or myself or Angry or somebody like that to go up there for a couple of weeks and pick, I think is complete bullshit. Like I said, the evidence points to the complete exact opposite.
And if there were individual farmers doing that, I'd be 100% supportive of them, and they should be front and center in the media, because what's been proven beyond any doubt repeatedly, the way the media reports it is fucking lies. I would absolutely trust individual farmers if they stood up and said, I am going to pay people this much to do picking. Absolutely. I'm just going off basically repeatedly the way the media's been reporting it has been proven repeatedly to be lies. So
And generally speaking, those that are writing those stories saying, "Oh, there's $40 an hour available here and that," are the same fucking assholes that write stories saying those who aren't working just aren't looking hard enough.
Yeah. So I think there's most of what we hear about it is propaganda. I'd be very happy if people were being paid proper rates to work as pickers on farms, because that would be good for everyone. I
tell you one thing, my old man needs to go out and start doing these talks with these young ones, show them how to get jobs, because my old man, he wasn't out of work for longer than probably a few weeks. And when he was younger, he would be straight out, resume in hand, and he would be knocking on doors. Even in the modern age, he was doing that.
Yeah, well,
and it works. You just got to know where to go.
Shieldy, at this point in time, there is 1.8 million unemployed Aussies and 630,000 available jobs across everything. Casual, part-time, full-time, skilled, unskilled, all of it. There is not enough vacant jobs for all of the people who are unemployed. Period.
You want to come out and pick fruit because it'd be better than living in North America. Honestly, yeah, I think being a fruit picker in Australia would probably be better than living in North America. I think, I kind of like visiting America, and like I've got friends in America, but the concept of living there, just the numerous downsides are just like, yeah, no.
I still can't get over Texas being under snow this year.
I'm tired, yeah.
Although the thing that makes me laugh the most about Texas, about that whole fucking thing, is the amount of senators over there that are going, "Oh, it's because of the Green New Deal that nobody's got enough power. It's because of the Green New Deal." Texas doesn't have any fucking green energy. What the fuck?
But it never bothers them. Just lie.
They have wind turbines. And
they do.
They said they failed because of this weather. Well, it's because they didn't buy the bloody the ones that were designed for that weather. They just went for the ordinary everyday wind turbines.
Considering that they've got identical wind turbines in Antarctica with the appropriate equipment on the fucking on the motor to stop it from being frozen over, seems to me that it might be a fuck up on their behalf, not on the infrastructure.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, it's the irony of a far right conservative fucking climate denying state that is so hardcore that is suffering from this, which has been predicted from climate change scientists for fucking decades. The irony of that is not lost on me, and I'm suffering an overdose of Schadenfreude.
Oh dear. Yeah, it's that's ridiculous. Sorry, I just saw another good Reddit joke. Apparently, Andrew Bolt got upset at the satire site. The Batuta Advocate said they called him a pedophile, and he's probably threatening to sue them or something. And the Batuta Advocate responded, "Andrew, we never referred to you as a pedophile. We called you a sus cunt." Yep. Okay. Yep.
Ahmed, I miss the time when the wealthy kept to themselves. No, that's not a good thing, Ahmed. The wealthy doing everything behind closed doors, out of the public eye, is why now they're the 1% hoarding all of the wealth. No, we need their practices and what they're doing out in the open for everybody to fucking scrutinize. Sorry.
But they've always been like that, whether it was the aristocracy of Europe, the robber barons in the US in the 19th century, there's always been these people who just want to fuck everyone else over. So
They always seem to be rich.
yeah, was it Raiders saying LA elites fleeing to Austin? Wow, what were they doing that for? I've heard Austin's a fucking great town. Austin, Texas is a really happening town. I don't know that the LA people would go really well there, actually. But yeah, and the sudden burst of cold might have freaked anyone from LA right the fuck out. For stuff to actually freak.
GameStop shares went up again.
Yeah, but not No, I lived in the States for 1 year. You couldn't pay me enough to do it again.
Yeah.
The happiest day of my life was getting on that fucking plane heading home. Oh my God. Especially considering that I was in Miami.
Yeah. Oh, you were in Miami?
Holy.
I was in Miami for a year.
God.
Sorry, I'm just watching all the financial stuff on Twitter.
Every time.
Gold is at 1,800. Oh my Lord.
That seems high.
Holy crap.
It's one of those things, every now and again, I've got to dig around my backyard. There's always a part of the back of my brain going, God, it'll be lovely if I found a gigantic golden nugget like about this big.
Yeah.
About that big. That's just pure solid gold. That'd be lovely.
Yeah. But the, oh God, that gold speculation is dumb as shit. It was like I was saying the other night. It's like, because these people are buying, there's not gold moving from person to person with an exchange of money. They're buying shares, they're buying pieces of paper. And if shit went tits up and someone had put all their money into gold and gone, well, thank God I put all my money into gold, it's worth a fortune. And then they front up and go, where's my gold? And go, fuck if I know, man. I hope the electronic message in your bank account makes you feel good, though, because there ain't no gold. It's just like...
I tell you what, I've got a piece of paper. I'll write gold on it, and there's your gold.
There was a really funny book written in the 90s called Bombardiers, and it was about Wall Street. Like, it's fiction. It was a novel. It was very funny, and at one point, and even in the 90s, none of it was real. Like, in yon olden days, share trading was, you would pay for shares, and you would actually receive... the physical share certificates would change hands, and you'd have a physical thing saying, yes, I have a certificate that I own these shares. And so transactions were really slow for that reason. The way they do it all with computers now is what's destroying the economy. But even in the 90s, it was like that. And the guys, one guy a younger guy at the stockbroking company is like, yeah, but why don't we actually get shares anymore? We used to get shares. And and they go, we just don't, it's electronic. But I want something physical. I want something that proves I got it. You can't. And then someone says, we could print a receipt that says that you bought the shares. And so he gets a physical printout of you bought these shares. And he's going, this is what I wanted. See, this is real. And the other brokers freak out and they think he's got a point. And they start wanting to pay him for the receipt because it's physical. And it was just this whole thing of showing what a fast the stock market is. This one guy gamed them all by saying, I want something physical. And he ends up, it's just a receipt. But then all these other brokers start seeing the receipt as like a talisman and they're trying to pay him more money. And it's not buying the receipt wouldn't even give them the shares, but they're just, because none of it's real. None of it's real.
Yeah.
It's all imaginary.
Well, it's an interesting thought experiment when you're thinking about all of the money that gets shifted all over the place inside of the stock market. It's all computer code.
Basically, it's just betting on profit. That's all it is.
Billions upon billions of dollars that doesn't actually physically fucking exist.
Or in case of the hedge funds, it's how much they'll lose.
Yeah.
Depending,
hasn't happened for a while, but I think the last time might have been in the 70s, a disgruntled sheep farmer, after being fucked over by banks and whatnot, and because it was all like trading in equities behind the scenes that ruined him, and he's like, but what? And the banks are going like they're going to repossess his farm, and he got some trucks, and he took all his sheep to Sydney, and then emptied them out of the truck. The bank had its office on Pitt Street.
Oh, I remember that.
He just emptied all these sheep onto Pitt Street in front of the bank and just went, "They're yours now, you motherfuckers."
There was
just hundreds of sheep there. It was great.
There was a similar story about a farmer over in the UK who got completely shafted by the banks and people dealing in the back rooms and all of that sort of stuff. So his response was to go to their version of Parliament House with his tractor and a manure sprayer on the back of it. Full of pig shit, and then decided to spray the entire side of their version of Parliament House.
Yeah. The French do that too. French farmers are feisty as fuck.
Talk about the Bay ones over in India.
Yes.
How long have they been protesting for now?
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, the way that the Indian government is fucking them over with what they're trying to attempt to do. If I were a farmer in India, I'd be going fucking nuts too. And
one suspects the reason Western media aren't particularly reporting it is because the farmers are all mad communists, and there are these massive protests where they're all got hammer and sickle flags and whatnot. The Western media don't want to give anyone ideas, I don't think.
I also think it's because the West would greatly benefit from it as well.
Oh yeah.
If we're able to buy produce from them at pennies on the dollar, as opposed to where we're buying it now, and the idea that our government's supporting our farmers, anybody that thinks that is fucking delusions. If they could get it cheaper from elsewhere because their government is fucking them over and we can reap the benefits, our politicians aren't going to do shit to try and help them. They're going to reap the benefits because we're assholes.
Yeah, it's basically yes, they're assholes. That's the bottom line on why do wars happen? Why do stock exchange crashes? Oh, why does it's because people are assholes. It's just this bottom line. The people calling the shots are assholes. So
councillors are corrupt.
There was that miniature meme that went around during the hashtag Me Too movement. That was I was abused by a guy in a suit, and I lost my house because of a guy in a suit, and I was, hurt by this guy in a suit. A guy walks up to me in biker leathers, and I am less intimidated than a guy in a three-piece suit.
Yeah. I remember similar ones, like picture of some gangster rappers with all their gold and guns and going, yeah, we're the gangsters and we're going to take it. And then cut to some bankers in expensive suits all laughing uproariously because they're the real criminals. They're the ones who are taking just millions.
The only difference is they're the criminals that are able to manipulate and work inside of the gray areas. And when that doesn't work, they're able to pay people the fuck off.
Yeah, it's a whole scam. So it was those the Purge movies, and there's a TV show. Sometimes they're kind of interesting because they went really political with it, but it's just you can commit any crime. Could you imagine the damage the financial people would do on a day when you can't be convicted of given the shit they do on normal days? If there was a day where they couldn't be convicted of a crime, could you imagine what the fuck they would do to ravage the economy?
It'd be one purge day, and then it would be a post-apocalyptic slump the next.
Yeah,
with the amount of damage that those bastards could do.
Yeah. I know. I don't know the purge law that well, but I know there's stuff there are limits, you can't use weapons of mass destruction, and I think there are some things that are off limits. But I don't think financial crime was the purge focuses on violent crime. I don't think financial crimes are off limits in the purge, but I don't know the storyline well enough to know that. But
see, the funny thing is, if that was a thing, I couldn't imagine myself being the person to actually go out and commit a violent crime. Like it was that whole it was a hashtag not all men thing that came out a while ago, but it stands true. And it was, according to feminists, all men are rapists, and all men want to rape. And it's, I do rape the exact amount that I want to rape, and that amount happens to be exactly 0.
That was Penn Jillette from Penn and Teller, and that was Christians saying, like, without God, what stops you just raping and murdering as much as you want? And he goes, nothing. Nothing stops me from raping and murdering as much as I want. And the amount I want to do it is 0.
And that's 100%. So on a purge day, I wouldn't be raping, murdering, or anything like that. I wouldn't have an interest in any of that. I could imagine me being the guy to go out and basically go into a bank and go, I don't want to hurt anybody, but I want all of that money. Just one. That's all I need.
Yeah, that's also why the purge happens at night. So you'd actually have to be able to, and it's actually incredibly hard to break into bank vaults. Well,
the cops aren't going to arrive. I'll make it happen. I don't know how. It's a lovely delusion. Let me live in my delusional fantasy.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. I think, God, see, this is one of the, it's almost like Gremlins. You remember, the Gremlins rule: don't feed them after midnight.
Don't give me nightmares again.
There was some Gremlins 2 was fucking hilarious because Gremlins 2 spent most of its time taking the piss out of Gremlins 1, and
that's true.
When the guy's explaining a Mogwai to all these suits, like it could be thing, and they go, can't feed it after midnight, and they go, how does that work? How do they know what time it is? What if you were on a boat, like you were on a cruise, and you crossed the international date line? What would happen then? And then what if the gremlin had been eating earlier and there was like a seed stuck between its teeth and that fell out after midnight? Would that count if it's followed the seed after midnight? And they're just basically, when you put rules like that and you make a really arbitrary rule, it doesn't make any sense. And they were just having so much fun taking that apart. So I was thinking with like the purge, okay, you could only do spontaneous stuff because technically if you did something big that you planned, like a financial crime, something big that you planned, because you can't really do that spontaneously. You'd have to plan it and then execute it. They couldn't get you for the act, but they could technically get you on conspiracy because you planned it ahead of time out of the purge. I don't know. So this is whenever there's an arbitrary rule, you can have endless fun just picking it to pieces and saying, that won't work.
It's the one time that being a pedantic bastard is actually kind of entertaining.
Yeah.
Is when you're talking about those sorts of things. The big bad ad says one day it's the Purge, next day it's Mad Max. I'm just going to say this to anybody that's watching. There is a game of Mad Max that's on PS3, Xbox, and PC. If you don't have it, get it. It's the best ever video game adaptation of a movie in existence. It is good.
It's quite open world, isn't it?
Very open world. Heck of a lot of fun. Funny in some parts, weird in others. But no, it's an incredibly entertaining and fun little game. And yeah, it's absolutely worth it. Like I bought it when it first came out for like the $90 that it was worth. And I have no regrets about spending that amount of money on it. I think you can get it for like $7 on Steam now. If you can, get it. It's so good.
Yeah, I saw someone raving about it the other day, actually saying about, the greatest open world game that everyone's forgotten about.
It's one of those games that really needed a good sequel on the PC or like on console in a game type of thing. But I don't think that's ever going to happen because people don't pay attention to it anymore.
No, people have very short memories.
Why do you think the Liberal Party stayed in power so long?
Oh, because Labor's really ineffectual. But yeah, and
and people's memories are really short.
And the Murdoch propaganda machine is mighty. As we found out in the last election, they were more effective than even I thought they were. So speaking
of, why? Like this is the thing that's kind of getting me at the moment. That poor girl who was raped at Parliament House
Yes.
in like coming into ScoMo's election. Brittany, I think her name is.
Yes.
You know, I saw her interview on the project and all of that, and all of the stuff that's been coming out since. This should absolutely be a fucking deal breaker for the entire party.
Yeah.
Their complete lack of any form of fucking human empathy. And ScoMo himself has said that he, like, words to the effect of he wasn't able to think about it as a human being until he talked to his wife.
Yes, his wife said, "Imagine if it was me or your daughters." And
Yeah.
it's going, "Oh, up until she said that, I didn't know rape was a bad thing." And it's just like, fucking hell.
This should be a fucking deal breaker for the entire fucking party, and nobody gives a shit.
Yeah. He spent $100,000 of our money on empathy consultants, and it didn't work. It's just like, oh no.
Empathy consultants.
Yeah,
That's a fucking thing.
It might still be a thing because there is a bit of pressure, and I think Labor smell blood in the water, and because for whatever reason, ScoMo has been able to get away with being an absolute worthless piece of shit, and if out of left field they could take him down, the Liberal Party would do something real fucking dumb, like put Peter Dutton in as leader, oblivious to the fact that Dutton's essentially universally despised.
I was having a discussion with somebody about that the other night, and they reckoned that if they were to do that, Frydenberg would most likely be in for the next leader.
Maybe, yeah. That would, oh look, honestly, that would make more political sense than Dutton. But Dutton's a big fucking psycho who controls the right wing. And
Murdoch has been very upset that he didn't win the leadership spill over Turnbull since he got turned down. I don't think he's ever gotten over it.
No, he hasn't. He's real angry. So
I mean, it's now the Turnbull's out of politics. He's actually starting to show some colors of actually being a fucking actual human.
Which goes to show how fucking spineless he was as a prime minister.
Oh yeah,
you know, theoretically the most powerful political office in the land, and he was absolutely gutless.
And then you've got that anti-vaccination fucking conspiracy fuckwit crossing the thing and giving them a one-seat majority in government now. Chris Kelly.
Yeah. Yes. And it will be funny if he actually, again, what I think would be another political catastrophe if he did join the National Party and support Barnaby Joyce to be leader of the National Party. That would be fucking hilarious.
That's another classic example of people with short fucking memories is Barnaby Joyce. You know, you remember it would have been, I think it was early 2019 or mid 2019. He and his now new wife, the one that he was having an affair on his other wife with, they did that interview on the project or Four Corners or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And you know, they were basically going, oh, you know, he's paid his penance basically. And the 2GB 2UE were doing this thing of getting people to phone in and saying, you know, would you trust him as a leader again? Would you bring him back in as the leader of the Nationals? All of that sort of stuff. Yeah. And the one thing that none of them were fucking mentioning that was driving me nuts, so I called in and actually said it. I said, you can't be serious about wanting this guy to come back in as the leader of Nationals because he is the largest walking, talking hypocrite on the face of the planet.
Yeah.
And Steve Price turned around to me and said, how would you call him a hypocrite? I went, this is the guy that was standing there saying that same-sex marriage was going to destroy the sanctity of marriage while having an affair with his wife.
Yeah. Oh, that again, yeah, that enraged me. That absolutely enraged me.
Yeah. And it's like, you don't think he's a fucking hypocrite? Like, come on now. And yeah, no, fucking short memories. People are like, oh yeah, no, bring him back. It's like, no, he's a walking, talking fucking hypocrite. Don't even go into their handling of the Murray-Darling Basin and all of that sort of stuff. Like, all of their political shit that they've done, which is illegal, immoral, and gigantically fucked up, I know won't change a person's fucking opinion of them. But you bring up that hypocrisy, and people actually wonder whether or not he's worth it.
Yeah, and that's it's everything. He's like the worst sort of human, just in terms of his character, but he's completely corrupt on top of it.
Yep.
So,
and fucking Barilaro ain't any different, just to be clear.
He's so funny. He's so fucking funny. He's so corrupt.
Yeah, he's so overtly corrupt as well.
Yeah, but I mean, Jesus, that's just New South Wales politics. And going back to the 70s at least, it's been, the market leader in outright criminal behavior in politics in Australia. And I mean, like, Joe was like small-time chicken feed corrupt over his time, and nothing compared to the shit that happened. Like, with Joe was rorting government money and whatnot, really bog standard political corruption. New South Wales, it involved fucking mobsters and illegal casinos and drugs, and that was like mad serious crime, as opposed to Joe's sort of fiddling with government finances. They don't fuck around in New South Wales. They'll just, if they see an opportunity to do something really criminal to rake in a couple $1 million, they'll just do it. And that's Liberal, National, Labor, all of them. They've just got such a track record of being such blatant criminals. It's wild.
The last state premier that we had that wasn't as blatant a criminal, but more than that, was actually semi-effective in the job, was Christine Neely. She was actually vaguely useful as the state premier, and wasn't as corrupt as the others. To say that she's completely non-corrupt, I don't think is accurate, but she was less corrupt, but she was actually kind of useful in her role, in actually getting shit done. But yeah, people didn't like her. One of the reasons that I heard, that the most ridiculous reason that I heard for not liking her, I don't like her accent. Really? That's your fucking...
Yeah, that was big. That was really big, actually.
It was the same thing with Julia Gillard. The fucking Murdoch press, if they couldn't get her on something that she said, it would be literally about the way that she said it. Oh, we don't like her bogan accent, apparently.
Which, was a very different reason to dislike an accent, but which was great. Julia Gillard had an awesome Western Suburbs accent. It's just... I still say that history will write her down as one of our most effective PMs. Oh, what she did leading a minority government was stunning, quite honestly.
It's like now Kevin Rudd is doing some good things with the whole rolling. Hey, Chris, he's doing some good things with the whole royal inquiry into the Murdoch press and all of that. It still doesn't mean that he is a good candidate to be the leader of Australia again. There was a reason why he got kicked the fuck out of power.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. He's a piece of shit. I don't care that I happen to agree with him about the Murdoch stuff. He's a self-serving, narcissistic, bullying, obnoxious piece of shit. And he deserves to be reviled for the rest of his life for how he behaved. I honestly don't think he should have been rolled either. I think they should have found a way to fucking deal with it. But what he did to Gillard was inexcusable.
Absolutely. And I mean, more than that as well, what people don't seem to realize about Gillard was that she wasn't instrumental in him getting kicked out of office. She was literally approached by the rest of the Labor caucus saying, we're kicking him out and we're handing you the reins. Have fun.
Yeah, it was Bill fucking Shorten. But and then it was also Bill fucking Shorten who agreed to go along with getting rid of Julia Gillard as well. Fuck, I was so fucking pissed off when they gave him the leadership after he played such a big role in fucking around both of them.
Puppet
Amen.
Master. He was the Puppet Master.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're talking local politics, Chris. None of these names probably mean anything to you.
Has there ever been a point in American history where the president of the Republican Party has been kicked out and somebody else in the Republican Party has been shoved into power to take over his spot?
No, that's not how American
There
politics
was something similar to that
Hmm.
with, what was his name? The Speaker of the House who got thrown out by the Tea Partiers. What was his name?
Yeah, Denny Hastert or whatever his name was.
Yeah, I can't remember. John Boner.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, that was his actual
Sorry.
name. His name was John
Yeah.
Boner. And yeah, the
I
Tea
like
Partiers.
If I remember.
Yeah, the Tea Partiers went out and they had 17 cameras and 4 protesters. That whole thing that happened. And
Yeah.
they were such assholes to him that he was like, "Fine, fuck you, I'll retire." And then since then they took over the party, which then led to Trump. So it's something very similar did happen, but not the. I guess he was the guy that was running the party at the time. But
Yeah.
you know,
you can get rid of people in cabinet positions.
Yeah.
And because and like Democrats could vote to have Nancy Pelosi no longer Speaker of the House and that type of thing.
But I don't know. No, that's never going to happen.
They're not going to, but they could. But
In my dreams.
you can't turf a president. You can impeach a president, which has never successfully happened.
Yeah.
But
Even when he
Nixon-
tries to kill you.
Yeah. Nixon resigned rather than be impeached. I think they gave him the word like, "Oh no, you are absolutely going down." But if you resign, Ford will pardon you, and you'll be okay. And that is what happened. Ford pardoned him.
So I'm in there laughing at what's happening with Trump at the moment.
Oh
Lost the final case. He can't prevent his taxes from being
Yeah.
released.
The other thing that I'm just going to mention as well, anybody that is saying that Trump is now being proven innocent because they chose not to go ahead with the impeachment, fuck off. You're an idiot.
Yes.
Okay. The Republican senators are some of the Republican senators said point blank that they know that he's guilty of making that insurrection happen, or that he was instrumental in making it happen. They know that he is absolutely guilty of everything they're charging him with, but they're still not going to vote to fucking charge him.
Yeah.
Because they can't afford to lose all their voters.
Well,
and all
the Republicans that aren't going to retire are doing it from the excuse of saying, well, we can't impeach him. He's not president anymore, which is very strange. And then the other Republican senators are, we can't go against Trump. He's the leader of the party. And then my favorite thing about it, though, is seeing Mitch McConnell slowly just die and decompose in real time almost, because not only was his house vandalized in Kentucky because he didn't give the $2,000 checks right away, and not only has he alienated all the Trumpers, he has nowhere to go. He's like, he can't vote against a guy that literally tried to kill him and said multiple times that he hates his guts because he wouldn't refuse the election results. And then he's nearly killed by Trump, and then he can't vote against Trump, and he's still, it's just, oh my God, he's just like slowly crumbling into death itself. And I'm just when he dies, I'll be as happy as I was when Rush Limbaugh dies.
Yeah. That was a good one. Rush Limbaugh.
But see, the funny thing about it, it's in the best interests of the party to make sure Trump doesn't go for presidency again.
Yeah, it is. It really is. But
it really is. It's not just in the interest of the party. It's in the interest of the fucking world.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And Trump's going to run again, whether it's Republican or Independent Party. He'll run again, and he'll win.
Oh, that's
there's no way.
He won't win I want him to run as an independent, because he won't win as an independent, but he will destroy the Republican Party's vote.
Well, that's also beautiful. But yeah, if it's just him and Biden, he's going to destroy Biden. He's going to, no way in hell.
You were saying that kind of rejoice when Rush Limbaugh died. Over here, we had a conservative announcer by the name of Stan Zemanek. And he was like, the one thing that he used to say was, like me, love me, loathe me, hate me, never accuse me of being boring. That's the one thing I'll give him, was that he was very rarely, if ever, boring, but his radio show was basically a 4-hour-long beautiful blowjob to the Liberal Party and John Howard when he was in power. And he came out with brain cancer. And, you know, don't get me wrong, I have a moral compass that dictates that I cannot wish honest death or that sort of thing upon anyone.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, of course not.
There was a greater majority of the population of Australia turning around and going, well, how sad for you.
Yeah, I mean, like if I'm not sure how Rush Limbaugh died. I didn't really care to keep up with him that well, but like, you know, if he had brain cancer, like, well, that sucks. I
think it
mean,
was cancer. I'm not sure.
I'm going to enjoy the fact you're not going to be around much longer, but I'm sorry you're going through that. That's not fun.
Yeah,
But
I think
the thing I respect about that bigoted, racist piece of shit is that he kind of helped resurrected talk radio from the death in the early 2000s. He did, and and there's a lot of good stuff on talk radio these days. And he really kept AM radio alive for a long time. And soon AM radio will be allowed to go digital. So we'll see how much is even left on AM radio now. But he did do that, you know. And I'm sad. I'm sorry he died. That's not fun. I'm glad he's gone though, because he was a racist piece of shit.
He apparently he died of lung cancer.
Lung cancer. Oh, well, he smoked all the time.
He smoked all the time.
In fact, that sucks for him. But the thing that was really bad about it was when God, what's his name? Eric Garner was choked to death. He was smoking a cigar and put up a social media post saying, you know, I'm not a criminal, so I can breathe just fine. And then he died of lung cancer. Sorry he went through that, but I mean, you reap what you sow, buddy.
Oh,
and Grant Gregory says, "Hi, Angry and crew." Hi, Grant.
Hi, Grant.
Hi, Grant. All through the AIDS epidemic, Rush Limbaugh would play like circus music and read names of people who died from AIDS, saying,
That's disgusting. I didn't know he did that.
The idea of not laughing that he's dead is ridiculous, because he is absolute pestilence.
He's a horrible piece of shit. I'm glad he's not around anymore, but I'm not going to wish that upon anybody.
I don't spend my time wishing people dead.
I am holding aside one full bladder for when John Laws dies to go out and piss on that cunt's grave.
Well, there you go. We all get one.
Laws is such a fucking weirdo. He's not straight down the line like Stan Zemanek or Rush Limbaugh or anything. He was a lathering conservative idiot who championed the Liberal Party against all common sense
and white supremacy.
Yeah, he was just weird. Lawsy was just fucking weird.
Unfortunately, he's still going strong on Sky.
Is he?
Yeah.
Last time I saw him.
Sky? You mean Sky News?
Yeah, Sky News.
Oh, the news network no one watches, right? That one.
They're desperate to be. Apparently, they get lots of views on the internet. They put stuff on the internet because it's just all the right-wing talking points.
Yeah. Every time I hear Sky News, it reminds me of Independence Day, because that whole movie is an ad for Sky News.
Well, you've got another ninja behind you, Angry. Don't look now.
Hey,
Don't
little
look.
Angry.
Don't look.
Yeah, because he's so tall, his head's
Oh, well, hey, it's good to know if I ever meet you and your wonderful family, I'll at least be able to look eyes on with at least one of your family members.
You will. You'll be able to go eye to eye with my son.
Oh, that's fantastic. I'll have to look out for
You're just a good leaning pole now.
If he's as tall as I think he is, then I'll be staring him directly in the nipples.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's like
That's
basically 6 foot tall. Yeah. And I'm not exactly sure where that comes from, because I come from a family of short asses, and his mum his mum only bloody comes up to here on me, so I don't know what the hell is going on there.
I tell you,
My daughter
Water.
doesn't talk to anyone in her mum's family.
So
a quick funny one. The guy that was best man at my wedding is 6'9", so he's a rather tall fella.
Okay.
Oh my god.
His girlfriend, long-term girlfriend, lovely young lady, she's Chinese and comes up to here on me. Now he's able to rest his chin comfortably on my head when leaning down.
Yeah.
And she comes up to here on me.
Yeah.
And she's an absolute little fireball. You get on the wrong side of her, she's going to let you know. And it's I love her. I absolutely love her. Yeah. And there was somebody that made the horrible, of course, remark of, I'm just wondering about the logistics of how you two have sex.
Yeah.
And it turns out that his girlfriend is a big fan of House, the old TV show, House.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she took a line from that, and she basically looked at our friend dead in the eyes and went, basically, I sit on him and go for a spin.
yeah.
It was such a great reaction.
It's good being tall. I'll tell you that much. It's good being tall.
Hey, good things come in small packages, but don't you forget, so does rat poison.
Yeah. There you go.
Sounds delicious.
Oh, yeah.
If you lovely people will excuse me just for 1 second, I am parched.
That's fair.
Mm.
Oh, that's not what I was...
Rat poison. That's funny. Rat poison.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Wasn't that a thing in old cartoons where they would like have rat poison?
Right.
Yeah.
Come on, bubbles.
God, old cartoons were so fucking violent.
Yes, they were.
I'm remembering that, right? Like, I'm not crazy. Like,
oh no, they were. They were.
Oh, we were so desensitized back then.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's a puppy.
Say hello.
It's a puppy coming to say hello. Look at that.
It's a puppy.
Nah.
And the puppy's gone.
Good.
But yeah, oh my god. Oh, speaking of old cartoons, they're coming out with a Tom and Jerry movie again.
I actually watched the trailer for that tonight.
I like the 90s Tom and Jerry
please
movie.
Are they talking again? Please no.
No. It's like they're not talking from what it looks like, but it's like Who Framed Roger Rabbit. There's like cartoons in a human world.
Yeah.
They're
interacting.
I mean, I like the 90s movie. The 90s movie was good. As a kid, I really enjoyed it. So I rewatched it a couple of years ago. It was all right. We'll see if I like it.
The lead who, like, for instance, is, what's her name? Chloe Savini, is that her name?
Chloe Grace Moretz. She was in the
That's right. Another
movie.
Chloe's. How many Chloe's can there be in Hollywood?
She's a really good actress. I really like her. So
I had
I'm
niece
hoping you like the
called
movie.
Chloe.
She came to fame in Kick-Ass. She was when she was very young, and people were a bit freaked out. People were a bit freaked out at the dialogue she had.
That was fucking awesome.
Next,
it was great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Both those movies, the first one and the second one, they were both good. They're both good. Yeah. So should be good.
Yeah.
I don't know why there's already a Tom and Jerry movie from the 90s. I guess you can.
It's money making. I love when people say, "Why did they make that money?" Because they thought they'd make. Sorry, why did they make that movie? Because they thought they'd make money from it. That's always.
If it's being released during the pandemic, it ain't making money.
Oh, there's a good one coming out soon on Disney Plus. They're doing a Mighty Duck rehash.
I don't have Disney.
But instead of it being the Mighty Ducks, it's like they're creating a new team because they weren't accepted into the Mighty Ducks because they've become what the team used to not like.
I was thinking it's going to be. Is it going to be the kids from the Mighty Ducks are grown up and realize that, like, Charlie Sheen is a hopeless degenerate lying in the gutter in his own vomit, and try and get his life back on track for him?
Charlie Sheen. I don't hate Charlie Sheen. I think once you accept him for what he is, which is not the best guy on the planet, you can move on with life, and he's done some good things for people. So I can't hate him. He's a lot nicer than Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson's like super anti-Jewish, so at least he's better than that.
Yeah, Mel Gibson's been dodgy as fuck for decades.
Yeah, it's a shame. He was so good in Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, but he's had a problem with alcohol for a very long time.
Yeah. So was Charlie Sheen.
He hasn't got over it. Like I think from just a couple of years ago, when he was having problems with his partner. I don't think they were married, but like she recorded some calls when he called her in a drunken rage and just made all these racial, because she is South American, I think, and he just made all these racial slurs and
yeah, it's sad. It's sad. It's hard to differentiate. What part of him's there and what part of him's not. So
Mr. Grant Gregory, hello.
How you doing?
How you doing, man?
Speaking of washed up actors, I was reminded of the Chevy Chase show, which was the late night show that aired like 3 times, and then they just shut it down. They said like $5 million. It ruined his career. Oh man, it's a shame because my mom always says I'm like Chevy Chase. I'm like from the National Lampoon. I'm always trying to do something good, and everything goes horribly wrong for me. Yeah. Oh man.
He lasted for a few years on Community, and some of the stories are as hilarious because he was trying to be edgy, and so he was basically doing a bunch of racist shit to Donald Glover, and I'm not actually racist. I'm just being edgy, and I remember there's an interview with Dan Harmon when they're saying, like, "How did you handle it?" He goes, "Oh God, I went to Donald Glover and get, oh God, I'm so sorry. What the fuck did you do?" And Donald Glover is just like, "Do you honestly think that pathetic old white man bothers me?" It's just like Donald Glover is like, "Man, I don't give a shit."
Yeah,
it's just like, he's desperately trying to be relevant, and it just doesn't need it.
Yeah, it's a shame. He was funny.
Yeah, he had his moments, and what's her name is the youngest woman in the cast. Same thing. He was being really sexist to her, and Dan Harmon went to her, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And she goes, "Don't worry about it." Because apparently one time, they're lining up for their lunch, and she's getting some coffee, and he starts going like, "Hey, I've got some creamer for you right here. You want some?" And she just turned and held the coffee cup out to him and says, "Yes, put it in here now." And he's just like, "What?" This young woman's just got up and he's trying to intimidate her and be, "Oh, yeah, I'm already like, I've got some creamer for you, baby." So she just turns around and holds the coffee cup to him and goes, "Yep, whip it out, put it in here. I want some now." And he's all sort of, oh.
That reminds me of that horrible Florida man story of the guy that apparently had to ejaculate into his sister's coffee.
Yeah,
it was necessary.
It was necessary, sure. Yeah. Oh, hey, speaking of Charlie Sheen and National Lampoons, there's this old 80s movie called Loaded Weapon 1 where they make fun of Lethal Weapon, and there's a young Sam Jackson in it, and it's the funniest fucking movie ever. And Charlie Sheen, like, it's his first role. He even has his first. He even has his name Estevez on there instead of Sheen at the end of it.
He's still an Estevez there.
Yeah, and he there's a standoff scene and he ends up shooting his gun when the guy says don't shoot the gun, and then Sam Jackson gives him a fucking like a wooden gun. He's all like, "Look, if you have any problems, just blow your whistle and smack him in the face." So yeah, oh man, that's a funny movie. I gotta watch that again sometime. Dennis Leary's in it. He does a whole like song dance thing, and don't they filmed in Piranhas or something?
Loaded Weapon was one of those ones. There was The Naked Gun, which was Leslie Nielsen, which was, giggle worthy. It was all right. You had your all of your other piss takes, but Loaded Weapon was one of those underrated but nonetheless actually hilarious piss takes.
So funny because there's a whole scene where Sam Jackson is character. They're at the Girl Scouts thing, and he clearly has the hots for the lady. Give him a tour, and his teeth just keep getting bigger. He's like, "Oh yeah, oh yeah." He turns into a dog or something. Oh my God, it's so good. They never made the sequel, so it really made me upset.
Yeah. So how you doing anyway, Grant?
Oh, hi, Grant.
Oh, Grant, if you're talking, we can't hear you, bud.
Oh well, we'll cross the.
Oh, now we have them.
Sorry.
We're here now. All right, we're good. We're good.
We're good. We got you. Everyone's here. were fantastic.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to think. The Flying High movies, the airplane movies,
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
earliest of those type of movies I can think of,
Mm-hmm.
making fun of the airport movies.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that I got sick of
Oh,
with the
Police Academy.
Yeah. The airplane movies. Yeah.
Police Academy was its own thing.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
Airplane existed to make fun of another movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, the funny thing about Airplane is I was watching it with my girlfriend and a couple weeks ago, and we were reminiscing because I think she'd seen it once before, and I'm all like, "Do you hear the biplane noises?" She's like, "That's that noise," and I'm like, "Yeah, they did that on purpose because the studio wouldn't let the movie be done with a biplane, so they just put the noise of the biplane in there because it's a shot-for-shot remake of a '50s movie. It's the best thing ever."
Yeah.
Oh my god.
with the smashing success of Not Another Teen Movie, which is in its own right kind of funny in parts.
I like that movie.
All of the offshoots of that just got old.
Oh, they got terrible. They were so bad so quick. At least no, Not Another Teen Movie. Is that the one where like the nerd
Went like this and I went like this.
It's that thing with like running. There's this nerdy kid trying to run to the airport to get the love of his life or something, and ends up getting run over by a car and like tackled by a dog, and all kinds of shit happens to him. And he finally shows up like 5 minutes late, just torn to shreds.
The main part of Not Another Teen Movie that makes me laugh was the piss take that they did on the 10 Things I Hate About You. Where they just start singing to try and get the girls' attention.
Jane's got a gun part.
Yeah, and he starts singing Janie's got a gun, and oh my god, she's got a gun!
Yeah, and everyone starts running around. Yeah, that was right after Columbine, yep.
I don't think it was a piss take on Columbine. I don't think
it was, but it was around that time, so that's when people were starting to be like, oh my god, there's guns around schools.
Could you imagine trying to like do a remake of and I know they did a very bad one on one of the cable TV things, but an actual remake of the movie Heathers that was about killing everyone in a school.
No.
That was pre the
there's a lot of really 80s and early 90s movies that were like that before Columbine.
Just the idea where the central guy is trying to kill everyone in the school. It's just like Jesus.
Grant, when you're talking, mate, you kind of cut in and out, and you're very, very quiet. I don't know if it's because your microphone isn't working or because it's not close enough to your mouth.
Oh, okay. I'm not very good at signing, so yeah. If I cut out, I'm sorry. I'll jump.
Well, that was all good and clear, actually.
Yeah,
that came through loud and clear.
Yeah, we got you on that one.
Yeah. Oh, Celtic King's back. Hello.
Oh, hi, Celtic King. Oh, speaking of microphones, using this mic stand, my buddy borrowed it, and he finally returned it after 6 years. I got this mic stand from a very, very old workplace that shut down called FVTV, and I did my Dr. Love romance shows, my joke romance shows, with this very mic stand.
Yeah.
So it still has the sticker on the bottom that says FVTV. So I'm really happy to have this mic stand back. It's a piece of history.
I lent my gurney to somebody fucking years ago, and I still can't find out who borrowed it. And like every time I see a gurney out of Bunnings and whatnot, I'm like, should I buy that? No, I'll just find the other one that I lent to somebody. Surely it's got to be around somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'll get it back one day.
Well, to be fair, I still haven't paid him back for buying me a computer 5 years ago, so guess we're even. Good guy.
Oh, that thing we were talking about, disparate sizes between partners. To me, it's this meme. Where's my share screen button?
Oh God.
Wow. Sorry, my brain has literally stopped working. No, wait.
Are you suffering from Alzheimer's disease, Angry?
No, they fucking changed the screen.
God, oh man, I suffer from Alzheimer's disease every day. God.
Chris, you're younger than all of us. Shut up.
It's called crack disease.
Whoa.
Oh my god.
Holy moly!
Now that looks like fun.
You seen that meme?
Oh.
That's
I have been
Oh,
sent that meme many
the
times.
size difference between the two boys was giggle worthy enough. That
Yeah.
banana thing, that was a hello.
Yeah.
And,
There's
there-
another
there-
one.
there's this
Oh,
one
here we
as
go.
Oh no.
Here we go.
Yep.
Jack,
Yep,
I think.
Yep. It's like that one of that the porn meme of the tall girl holding the young girl up against the
Yeah.
wall.
Yeah. But that's an actual porn. Yeah.
Yep.
Um,
I've received those memes.
I mean,
Yeah.
in any of
It's-
those scenarios, if anyone wanted to reenact the real life helicopter version, I mean, you've got the right proportion sizes with each other, so I think that's a pretty good thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
As soon as you say disparate heights, like there was the awful joke we used to have, like if there's that much difference in height, it goes, is the top of their head flat though, so you can rest your drink there as well. So,
My wife is like this much shorter than me,
yeah.
like not much at all. And yeah, it's still a common joke that she's still the only partner I've ever had shorter than me.
That's funny.
All of my other partners have been taller than me,
yeah.
and most of my partners have been older than me, with the exception of Eleanor. She's also younger than me as well.
Ooh.
But all of my
And-
previous partners were older than me.
Trying to remember, like Mrs. Angry is basically the same height as me. I
Mhm.
think all my other partners were at least a little bit shorter.
Yeah.
Who's older and younger in yours and Mrs. Angry there, Ozzy?
Sorry, what?
Huh?
Who's older and younger in yours and Mrs. Angry?
Sorry, I missed the first half of the sentence.
Are you the older one, or is Mrs. Angry the older one?
She's slightly older than me. Yeah. And that's
Ooh.
also at first. All my other partners had been at least a year younger than me. So,
Yeah.
So, is she a cradle snatcher or are you a grave robber? How does it work?
Well,
Right, she's a cradle
Yeah.
snatcher. She's cradle. Yeah. My current girlfriend's the first girl I've been with that's older than me by a couple years.
Yeah.
And speaking
She's
of all
still
of
shorter than me though. Not by much.
Speaking of all of the different names, I just found out the other day where the term rock spider came from.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to know?
Yes. For
Okay.
those who don't know, rock spider is prison
Do
slang.
I really
for
want to
a
know?
pedophile.
Yeah, it's prison slang for a pedophile. It's because they will fit into any small crack.
That's funny.
No,
Because
that's the actual fucking evolution of the word.
No, that makes sense.
It's
because
disgusting.
The actual spider that they're referencing are these weirdly flat spiders that you can like literally lift up a rock and there's one underneath it, and it's absolute. These really, it's like they've been squashed, but they're alive. They are very strange spiders.
See, I
But,
thought it was because if you saw one, you wanted to pick the
Like-
rock up and then smash him on the head with the rock in. That's where I thought the term comes from. But yeah,
I think there's a lot of that goes on, definitely.
Oh yeah. No. You go to prison as a kiddie fiddler, you're gonna have a bad fucking time.
Yeah,
You're
that's very
basically-
true. That's very
You've
true.
got, you've got two choices: get the living shit belted out of you every day in Gen Pop, or spend your entire time in solitary confinement, because that's the only place that they can offer you protection.
Yep.
And it's very hard to feel sorry for a kiddie fiddler in prison. It's very, very hard to feel sorry for them.
It sure is.
Sure is.
Some fucked up
Again,
shit.
I think that comes under
I'm
the.
not, I'm not a hateful person, but that's the sort of thing where it's just like, yeah, I can see the justification.
Yeah, I
know,
think
as
that
a
comes under the
terrorist,
banner of. Yeah, I'm not actually going to wish the torture and brutality on them, but it's really hard to go.
No,
Oh,
I
I
mean,
feel so sad about that.
if
You know,
I saw that happening to one of them, and I had the ability to stop
Hey,
it,
hey,
I would
enough.
definitely do it. I would just take my time in recording.
Yeah,
You know,
It's
whether
one of those. It's
whether
one of
it's
those
5
things. Like,
minutes or 37 years, I'm not too sure what the distance is, but it would be somewhere in between the two.
I have a slightly unpopular opinion in regards to that whole thing. All kiddie fiddlers should absolutely spend time in prison. I'm not saying that they shouldn't.
Yeah.
But I think that there should be specific parts of the prison for people guilty of those crimes.
Yeah.
Not because they don't, on a moral level, deserve what's happening to them, but because with proper treatment and diagnosis and consultation with professionals who are learning where these drives might come from, how they might be able to better control it, all of those sorts of different things, we may be able to prevent more people from doing that shit in the future.
Mhm. Yeah, that's
I
true.
mean,
Good point.
let's just say that's true, and they can do that. Would you allow an ex-kitty fiddler around your child?
I'm sorry, Grant, I didn't get any of that, mate.
I'm saying,
Yeah.
let's just say what you were saying was true. Would you allow an ex-reformed kitty fiddler to be around your child?
Would I allow an ex-reformed kitty fiddler to be around my child? That is dependent on the situation and the person.
No, that's a hard no from me. Also, like, I wouldn't let anyone from the Liberal Party around my kids either.
Yeah. I wouldn't let
Yeah.
any Republicans around really anybody I know.
Look, I feel uncomfortable when any Catholic priest is around young kids, but
Yeah.
no Catholic priests are rapists.
That's true.
I do think that some people who have done that may have made an honest mistake once. I don't believe that it may actually be a sexual orientation for them. I'm not saying that they deserve to be forgiven. I'm saying that we shouldn't forget, but I don't think that that means that that person should be judged for the rest of their days on that one mistake, no matter how bad that mistake is.
Yeah, well, that's the whole point of
If we're ever going to get to a point in society where we can honestly get on top of this shit from happening, we need to be able to step away from the immediate sexy feeling of fuck those guys and everything they have ever stood for, kill them all, string them up by their nuts. Because that's a really sexy and fun ideal because they're pieces of shit. There's no denying that. But if we could get past that and understand these pieces of shit better, we may be able to prevent it from happening in the future to more young children. And that's way more important.
Yeah, that's how we are in the States right now with all kinds of problems. You know, we're like homeless people, fuck them. You know, drug addicts, fuck them. Alcoholics, fuck them. Pedophiles, fuck them. You know, and instead of addressing
people who are affected by something like homelessness and alcoholism, to someone who seeks out a child for sexual gratification.
Well, that's how they're treated here in the U.S. That's the thing. It's the majority of conservatives in this country treat poor people and pedophiles as the same, completely useless, and should be killed off.
On society.
And so every single issue that we get closer to treating and rehabilitating, like what Grasshopper's saying, what they do in a lot of Nordic countries, they rehabilitate these things. They help fix these people. They help fix lives, repair wounds. That's the point of the government and the criminal justice system, is to reform people. It is not to perpetually punish them until their days are over. You can't fix society that way. And
there are studies out there that show that Nordic countries do not do enough to prosecute grown men from interfering with young women. There's a few studies out there that kind of say that it's almost an accepted practice, and that, you know, basically nobody talks about it, but everybody accepts it. So while there are parts of the Nordic
culture, there is definitely one that's embedded in it.
I'm sorry, Grant, I didn't catch all of that again, mate.
I'm saying if there is a rape culture, with a lot of that, the laws within some of the Nordic countries, that's definitely accepted as a general practice.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we need to be a little bit careful with that one there, Grant, because rape culture is referring to something completely different.
No, I'm saying if rape culture is something that we can say on a global thing exists, you have to look at it in profit. And in that instance, I agree, when people are being assaulted and there's no ramifications from the law, you can look at the same things in like Pakistan. I have several very close friends who come from Pakistan to Australia, and it was one of the biggest things within their family. They still have family members that are dealing with that sort of ramifications in the town.
It is a worldwide problem.
Mm-hmm.
Especially young women being interfered with by older men.
Yeah, it's a real problem here in the States because it's a strange thing where like everybody in the United States, any American you ask them, they'll be like, yes, I hate pedophiles. But if it's a 16-year-old or 17-year-old person, regardless of gender, all of a sudden everybody's mind starts changing about, well, if it's a teacher, well then, maybe it's, da, and then everyone gets their own, you know what I mean? It's a real problem, and that stems from rape culture here in the United States. So, and the problem with that is that the crime of rape, especially against women, and also just abuse in general, is simply not punished in the United States. I'm a rape victim. I've been domestically abused, for at one point for years. There were no ramifications. They gave they gave my ex a slap on the, they gave her a fine. They had photos of my wounds and they gave her a fine. That's how fucked up our justice system is here. But if she had been, a man and I had been a woman, they wouldn't have probably even charged her. So the problem that we have here in the States is that, we have all these petty issues that we think are
Grant dropped out.
Yeah, I couldn't hear him anymore. We have all these petty problems that are seen as, good for death. But then we have all these other problems like rape culture and abuse acceptance and, accepting traumatic and mental illness and all these crazy things that we just accept as normal in the United States that we don't punish, that perpetuate those really horrible things. It's just, our criminal justice system is as bad as North Korea's, and yet it's also as ineffective as North Korea's. Because, it's based upon political lines in North Korea. Here, it's almost identical.
Australia's treatment of domestic violence survivors is abhorrent at best. Our conviction rate of people that are and I am talking about beyond a shadow of a doubt, 100% guilty of sexual assault and rape, not being charged, and young women and men being forced into silence for what happened to them here in Australia is no different from so many other countries out there. And,
it's a shame.
It's America, it's Australia, and, any country that you look at that you're like, I can hold some of these ideals up as a paragon to work towards, like the Nordic countries with actual rehabilitation for their prisoners is an ideal that I very much look up to. But it's
flawed. It's flawed, and they need to work on it.
There's always that level of skepticism that I approach any other country because scratch just a little bit on the surface of any country. It doesn't matter where the fuck it is, just scratch a little bit on that surface, and that shit sandwich is going to come out for all to see.
Yeah.
Before we go, I actually wanted to say hello to Inner Deviant, who's come in just in time to say hello and goodbye because I'll be going to bed. So I'm just throwing that in.
Hello. Well, thanks for having me on, Angry. Sorry if I look absolutely fucking horrible, but it's just been an absolutely shocking week. Yeah.
I'm not the last one to judge someone on their appearance, honestly.
But no, I sent AIDS a text wishing him all the best. So yeah, don't go into detail, but I hope he gets the help that he needs.
No, I hope he's all right.
But fun times again. Thank you for having us in, Angry. It's always fun, mate.
Yeah, no, it's always fun to get in and chat. But
especially on a Friday night, it's always
at the moment out here, it is absolutely pissing down with rain. It's actually quite lovely to sit here and just chat to people and listen to the rain outside. It's quite lovely.
I'm trying to think what is actually happening.
I had a storm on Tuesday night, knocked my power out just as the stream started, and then knocked my internet out until the end of the stream, and then it came back on. Bastards.
They knew.
That's it. It was nature's way of saying, don't get involved in angry streams; it'll ruin you. Like
it could be. That could be what was going on.
It all depends on how much you've had to drink, Angry. It's always dependent on how much you've had.
And tomorrow night is anyone's guess, quite honestly. It if my power went out, it'd be fucked because I'm going off the laptop, which is running off NBN, which requires power to work. While I could theoretically, I guess, switch to my phone, I don't want to. So
I don't want to do that.
Well, then you'd also get maybe an hour and a half on your laptop battery before it all ended anyway.
Yeah, but that's the glorious step forward of the NBN. Phones used to work even when the power was out, but now because the copper thing's been cut off and the phones go through the NBN.
You don't want to know how serious I'm looking into backup power.
I want to get battery power for my house. But no, I remember as a kid when the power around our area used to go out, it was always a guessing game of how long until the phone started ringing because people bought it, just go, I'll give blah, blah, blah a call.
Yeah. I'm sitting in the dark.
And the old days of...
Well, I mean, the at least here, these work when the power's out.
Yeah.
Our cell
Until
phones
it run out of battery.
But our power... no, let's not go down that rabbit hole because Angry's about to end the stream, and it's that's a whole fucking talking point. The power infrastructure of Australia.
Yeah, and speaking of which, Mr. Grant Gregor was saying his phone died, which is why he disappeared. But anyway, I'm going to go to bed.
Good night, Angry. Good night to everybody watching. It was a great time.
And maybe back tomorrow. See yous.
Bye.